Hello good people! In today's tutorial I will show you step by step how to create a simple furniture piece with drawers in the 3D design program Sketchup. You will learn how to download a handle from the multitude of available options, how to correctly position it on the drawer front, and as a bonus I will show you how to create a super beautiful video just like the one in the intro with the final product so you can impress future clients or, as the case may be, your family or spouse. Here is the SketchUp workspace interface. As a first step, we will go to Window, Model Info, Units, and make sure that the decimal format is set, millimeters, and here we will tick the first box to set the program not to display decimals in our unit of measure. We return to the workspace, select the rectangle tool and create our first furniture piece, the bottom plate. I will type 360 mm, which represents the width of the piece, and 700 mm, which is the length. We press enter, space from the keyboard, double click on the piece, right click, make a group. I will repeat this command quite often, so please remember it. Now we select it, double click, select the push-pull tool from the toolbar, pull it in the desired direction, in my case upwards, type 18 from the keyboard, enter, and there we have our first piece of furniture created, the bottom plate. Now I will create the side panel of my furniture piece. The first side panel will be the one on the left. We select the rectangle tool again, select this point and the one opposite, go upwards, type 350, which represents the height of the piece, comma 360, which represents the width of the piece. Repeat the commands from the first piece, double click, right click, make a group, space from the keyboard, then double click, push pull, 18 and enter. And here we have our first side panel. To create the second one, we will make a copy of the first one on the left. Click on it, then go to the menu bar and select the Move command. Grab this corner, drag it in the desired direction, press Ctrl to make a copy, place the piece where desired, and there we have our second side panel. To create the top plate, we make a copy of the bottom plate. We select it, use the Move command, drag it in the desired direction, press Ctrl to make a copy, and position it where we need it. And we have finished the body case. And we have reached the much awaited moment when I will design the drawers. As I have received many questions on this subject, I will go into details and explain how I make these drawers. For this example, I will refer to the rail slides of this type, which are the most commonly used in the furniture making world. As you can see, they come in sizes starting from 250 to 650 mm. In my example, the furniture body has a depth of 360 mm, so I will choose the 350 mm slides. Generally, the furniture body should be 10 cm larger to avoid unpleasant surprises. Returning to our furniture body, I will start with the necessary dimensions for the drawer's construction on the length. This length is obtained by subtracting the value of 26 mm from the interior distance of the body. To do this, I use the tape tool, go to the inner edge of the left plate and type 13 mm, half of 26 mm. I do the same thing starting from the inner edge of the right side panel and type 13 mm. This way I obtain two guidelines that will help me define the length of the drawer accurately. As the next step, I will go to the top plate of the body and draw a guideline at 20 mm. The same for the bottom. Now that we have established the mandatory distances between the drawers and the body case, I will also define the separation spaces between the two drawers. I will use the tape tool again, starting from this edge of the top plate, moving along the left side panel until I reach the midpoint. From this central line, I will create two more guidelines at 10 mm upwards and 10 mm downwards. I will use the erase tool to delete this central line, obtaining a distance of 20 mm between the two drawers. Next, I will use the rectangle tool starting from this corner, moving towards the opposite one. I'll go to the back, make it a group, and then using the push-pull tool, I'll type 18 mm, obtaining the first component for the drawers. I will select it, use the move tool and move it outside the furniture body to design the other component pieces. The length of the second component of the drawer, called drawer box side panel, will be given by the slides. This time I will use 350 mm slides, so the drawer box side panel will also be 350 mm. Now I will show you a more than interesting shortcut. For example, in this case, if I want to know the height of this component, normally I would have to go to the toolbar and use the dimension tool. But this time I will use the rectangle tool. I select these two corners, drag them in the desired direction, then type 350, make the face a group, use the push-pull tool, type 18 and enter, and thus I have obtained the second drawer box side panel. Since I want a complete drawer, I will make a copy of each of the two elements. When we pull the drawer out, however, these edges will be visible, and because I don't want that, I will make a small modification to the drawer. Namely, I will introduce this component between the two drawer box side panels. From my point of view, this is the correct shape for a drawer. To make it complete, it will also need a box bottom. I will use the rectangle tool starting from this corner and heading towards the opposite corner. I will create a group, select it, use the push-pull tool, type 18, and then all I have to do is insert this plate built earlier between the drawer box side panels. We have now reached the moment when we will meet a new tool, but first we will transform the entire drawer into a group, and then we will go to the tool I mentioned. The tool is called Rotate. We will select it, go to our drawer and position it so that the cursor turns red. Then we move to the other side of the drawer, left click, and rotate the drawer holding down Shift until it reaches 180 degrees. Finally, the star of this tutorial is in the correct position, ready to be inserted into the specially created furniture body. I will select it, use the Move tool and insert the drawer into the furniture body. All that remains is to create a copy, and finally the drawers are in their final position. Now I can delete the guidelines by going to Edit and selecting Delete Guides. Next, I will create the drawer fronts corresponding to the body. I will use the same guidelines with the help of the tape tool, starting from the outside of the left side panel this time and typing 1.5 mm. I will create a contour of 1.5 mm around the body, so I will go to the top plate and type 1.5, as well as from the side wall and bottom plate. As you can see, the drawer fronts will be 3 mm smaller in length than the external dimensions of our body. We will continue to see how to calculate the height of the two drawer fronts, namely the distance between them. For this, I will find that midpoint on the side and from this center line I will draw two more guidelines that will represent the limits of the drawer fronts. I will add a guideline 1.5 mm above and another 1.5 mm under. Using the Erase tool, I will erase the center line, leaving a distance of 3 mm between the drawer fronts as required functionally. Now that we have the guidelines, we just have to start designing the drawer fronts. I will use the rectangle tool, start from the intersection of the guidelines, and select the opposite corner also formed by the guidelines. As usual, I will create a group, use the push-pull tool, type in 18 mm, press enter, and I have created the first front. I will now make a copy of it. I have already deleted the guidelines, and now we will import a handle from the Sketchup database. We go to File, select 3D Warehouse, get Models, and I will type Drawer Handle in the search bar. We see that there are many options to choose from, but I will choose this one. I'll click on it and then click on Download. As you can see, the handle has appeared. I'll make sure that it touches the drawer front. And now I want to position the handle in the center both lengthwise and heightwise. To do this, we look for the midpoint again, and once found, we left click and move slightly left-right while pressing the Shift key and look for the midpoint of the drawer front. When this dot turns light blue, it means that the handle is positioned in the center of the front's length. We will apply the same method to position the handle in the center heightwise. We look for the midpoint of our handle press Shift and move the cursor to the midpoint of the front's edge. Now we have certainty that it is correctly centered on both axes. Next, I will make a copy of the handle that is centered on the second front. I will select it, use the Move tool, place the cursor on the edge of the drawer, and while holding down the left-click button, move down, ensuring that I am moving along the vertical line. I press Ctrl, move down to the bottom edge, and now I have the two handles centered. In summary, we have designed a furniture case consisting of 4 pieces, 2 drawers, 2 fronts, and the corresponding handles, all at a scale of 1:1, which will help you determine the necessary cutting dimensions. The tutorial is a bit technical, but if you repeat the commands, I guarantee that you will master the program and obtain the furniture objects as you desire. You will be pleasantly surprised by your evolution in 3D design. Next, we will create 2 groups, one made of the box elements and one made up of the drawer elements. To create this group from the separate elements, I will select one piece, press Shift and select the other pieces of the furniture. In our case, we have 4 pieces, so I will select all of them, right-click and of course make a group. Now, if we select a point on the furniture, we see that all pieces will be selected, which is what I intended. Now I will create 2 groups out of the 2 drawers. I select the drawer, hold Shift and select the front and handle. I make the group and do the same with the second drawer. The tutorial continues with a small revelation, namely showing you how to open a drawer in the Sketchup program, at least in my version. I select the drawer, apply the Move command, select this line, and pull until I consider it sufficient for my design. Speaking of design, I think I'll apply some color. We go to Materials, then Wood, and I will choose this color that looks like dark walnut. I will apply it only on the furniture case, the rest will remain white. And now, because a product needs marketing to be fully appreciated, in my opinion, in this case, it requires a video from multiple perspectives and angles. I will show you what I mean by that. I will go to the menu bar, select View, and then choose Animation, after which I will select Add Scene. We will see that this blue symbol has appeared in the upper left part of the screen. Next, I will modify the perspective using the scroll so that it is highlighted in the best way possible. I will make a few movements. After I have stopped in this position, I will click on this symbol, right-click on it, and select the last option. We can see that another symbol has appeared on the right side of the screen. I will then press the plus button, rotate the product in the direction I want to make it more attractive, press the plus button again, change the angle, and once more before the final check. These are the 4 mini videos that, once exported, will form a single video to present the product in the best possible way. We will go to File, then Export, and then Animation and Video. We will choose the partition where we want to export the mini videos, export them, and see what we get. It was not easy to present this content, but I believe it will be helpful in creating your own furniture pieces. I recommend that you repeat the commands, and I am sure you will be able to design such furniture pieces by yourself. If you enjoyed this tutorial, leave a like and a comment. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out my other interesting tutorials.